And how did you feel? And what was the transition like from leaving a town where you're hated by most of the people there, going to a town in college where you're accepted and loved and that kind of thing?
Oh, it was a beautiful experience going to Tuskegee. I mean, I was in a surrounding where it was all black. A lot of mentors, all my professors, all the police, everybody. It was like a mecca for me. And it was great for me because it removed me for a while to where I didn't have to see any white people. And they were able to work with me. Now, I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of depression, and it took them for years to bring me out. The first year, so I was a zombie. I didn't even talk. You could sit me in that chair where you are. You come back 3 hours later, I was still there. I was a non-function. But I think by being in an all-black surrounding with all those old black folks, as I call them.
My name is Victor. I go to Washington High School. I wanted to ask, along with the mentors you had, what else helped you forgive Bill?
Well, basically, you got to understand, I didn't forgive Bill until I got to Los Angeles some 22 years later, and a guy talked to me about forgiveness, and he was a stranger, and I really never thought about forgiving Bill. And meeting him coincidentally 3 times, and which wasn't a coincidence, I found out God would put him in these places that I would run into him, and he was from Canada, so it's like, why am I running into this guy? And it got to the point that one day forgiveness came up, and I snapped, and before I knew it, I said the words, and that was my first transition. And after I forgave Bill, it was very difficult for me to forgive myself, and I don't think I forgave myself, or really, I think I have. I had a big transition last November, a few months ago, so I've been in this process of trying to forgive myself, and I think I'm there. Sometimes I have relapses, but overall, I think I'm there.
Another question. How did you feel as a teenager growing up in a community where you had no one to turn to outside of your own race?
Oh, when I grew up, it was segregated, but we had a great time. There were a lot of things we couldn't do. We couldn't go to McDonald's and eat. A lot of things we couldn't do, but we were protected by our families. So as a black kid growing up in the South in a segregated society, it was fantastic. I had a great time.
Just wondering, while you're at Tuskegee, why do you think all those old people paid special attention to you and made sure that you graduated?
Well, I think when you're in a surrounding like that, they paid attention to all the black students, not just me. But they went the extra mile when they had a black student that was in need, that needed more nurturing. But it was a center for everybody, not just me. But I just needed a little bit more attention, and I was like a project to them because I was going, time out. You know, it's still very difficult for me to talk about them, the old folks, because they meant so much to me. So, for some reason, it's tough for me to talk about them. Okay, go ahead. Next.